Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, welcome to this slightly pew 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 pew. Today we're going to be playing Star Wars. So get those pew pew pews ready. So as you can notice, firstly the sky is grey, which means it's perfect time to be a nerd and sit indoors and play D&D, which is always fun. So we've got some beautiful artwork that we've put up today. Very similar to the broom cupboard on CBs when we were kids. One of our wonderful players, Mr. Rob Thompson, has done some artwork using the artwork from the players. I'd like to point out that Gabby is a ghost, and we'll be playing slightly
spooky D&D,
spooky D&D, which I think is great. So yes. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Mr. Cooper and his crew for doing their first episode on Wednesday of Happy Jack's Funhouse. It was so much fun to watch, so I really enjoyed that. So do make sure you pop by and see them on Wednesdays at 7 till 10. I think they did the classic thing of, you know that you're in D&D if you struggle to get out of a hole. And I thought they did that.
A 5-foot hole as well, just
5-foot hole.
To get that clear.
It took me a good 20 minutes to get out. That was excellent. So big love to them. And I just also can't believe that they nearly killed Bubby, the wonderful little.
They're a ruthless crew.
Ruthless crew.
They don't care.
So let's go around and find out what everyone's days, what weeks have been like. So let's do the ghost first. So Gabby, so how's your week been?
Hi. Yeah, it's been really good, thanks. I met with some friends socially distanced for the first time yesterday, had a couple of 8.2 ciders, and then cried over chicken nuggets. So that's been my highlight of my week so far.
Wow.
All in a day's work, you know.
It was so funny. She was
not so happy meal.
By the bins, going like, I can't eat the chicken nuggets. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, babes.
Yeah. So that's my week.
There's your week. Okay, cool. So Dan, how have you been?
I am good. I weirdly managed to do my first voiceover job this week. Whilst in lockdown, somehow during lockdown I've managed to get a voice agent and a job.
Nice.
And so created a very professional home recording studio that was definitely not me in my wardrobe with my duvet around my shoulders. It was very professional, and it went really well. It was crazy and I was terrified, but it went really well.
Oh.
I imagine it got a bit sweaty in there, did it?
Oh, it was so sweaty. It was so sweaty. I had to wear a vest. Like, yeah, and I hate that.
I really hope that 8-year-old goblin was one of your voice carrier types that you did.
Yeah.
That was my warm-up. That was on a scale, 8-year-old goblin, 8-year-old goblin, 8-year-old goblin, 8-year-old goblin.
And Evie, how's your week been?
What have I been doing? I've been counting down the days until 4 p.m. on Monday the 15th. Is that the date? Yes.
Yeah.
To be honest, I actually really can't remember much about the last week. It's been a blur, but I did also do a little social distance get together in my friend's garden on Sunday, where down here in Dorset, it was absolutely pissing it down with rain. So we literally sat there going, this is fine, with umbrellas and ciders, and it felt like camping. It was great. It was lovely. So yeah, that was my highlight, I think, last week.
Yeah, man.
Good.
Bit of human connection. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Thompson.
I am hungover today. So I imagine Tunk will similarly be hungover. I spent a lot of time figuring out how to use this program, figuring out how to do this artwork and stuff. So that's a hole that has no end. And I may be eating during this recording a nondescript burger chain brand. See if you can spot it, viewers. See if you can spot it. I'll do it on the fly.
Can I ask that you put your mic on mute when you do so?
Of course,
please.
Yeah.
So we are just
shuffling food into my mouth.
Back with ASMR. Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I won't do it is if the kids take a break and go for lunch. In which case, I think that will add to the general aesthetic of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we dear viewers are going to be going back to school today, which is going to be nice.
Whoop, whoop.
Because after these guys have completed their first mission, they did really, really well. Only losing one person.
It's so
sad.
Yeah,
That's
just so you guys are not confused, Tunk didn't die as Tunk. Tunk
No.
died in the imagination of the children.
And watched
But yeah, why?
Inception.
Because he is the embodiment of friendship, and now their friendship is dead.
Shout out to Erky.
Shout out to Urky, yeah.
Yeah, big shout out to Urky. I miss Kurt already, I really do.
Yeah. Oh,
Me
yes.
too.
But
It's
well,
so great.
but yes. So shall we kind of crack on?
Let's do this thing.
Let's just play some D&D.
Yeah.
Okay, so the sound and the ruckus of a large adult fight, probably the one that Pups is probably the only one who's really heard one like this. Maybe Baggi has, of like the sound of a fist fight, like proper glass smashing. You kind of hear this kind of coming through the walls of the portal pub, Yawning Portal, as you are in between the walls. So you decide to jump down and kind of go back the way you came, through the cellar, through an open door, into a storeroom, and then start to climb up into the through the window and onto the streets next to the pub itself. I'm not going to make you do rolls for that at the moment.
Thank God.
We just want to get straight back. So the second that you jump out onto it, you have a moment where you look at each other as children again for the first time. In your world, like 2 hours, 3 hours. And especially you look at Tunk in particular.
Tunk was dead.
Oh my god, that was so cool! Like, the big shout and everyone ran away. Like Oshi with the bow and the heads and went. And Baggy was like, it was so cool. Can we do it again? I want to do it again.
Good
I
job,
like when
Baggy.
Tunk's beard went on fire when he went to get the apple.
Oh, she takes the ribbon and puts it back around Tunk's wrist, so tying her and Tunk back together, and says, "Tunk, don't ever do that again. Don't climb for apples ever again."
Okay, Oshi, but Tunk is
friends
a
help
ghost
each other.
now.
And then it's like it kind of goes a bit quiet with that kind of moment of don't ever do that again. And there's a moment that probably the first time you've seen, even those who've known Oshi for a while, it's like, oh, she actually care about somebody. And it's like, has the story changed them a little bit?
We've all been
Is there-
changed.
Is this character development?
So can somebody do a perception check for me, please? I just shout out the number because I'm going to stay on our normal screen for a bit.
Who's going to be the quickest one?
Quickest one there.
I'll just speak first.
Oh.
Oh,
I'll take
good try.
dance. Over the hubbub of the street, you can hear something in the distance, but you're struggling to hear it.
Is that the 9 or the 20?
The 9. So you're struggling to hear something in the distance.
I think there's something going on over there. Should we go and see? It might be another quest, not adventure. Adventure.
Baggy picks up the biggest stick she can off the floor and goes, "Yeah, let's go. I've got a fiery battle axe. Nothing will stop us."
As you run out onto the street, and then it starts to be clear that you hear the school bell ringing. and you realise that the sun is beginning to set on the horizon, and you are late getting back.
Baggy turns to everyone, throws a stick on the ground and goes, "No, school bell, we've got to get back. Quick, quick, quick."
Oshi shouts run, and I think maybe in the hopes everybody starts running but forgets that a hand is tied to Tunk.
And so does one of those like very cartoonish like runs but doesn't go anywhere, like kind of running on the spot.
The tongue sort of just holding her back.
Yeah, the tongue still contemplating with the concept of being a ghost.
Yes.
Then proceeds to run.
I'm gonna jump on Tunk's back and go charge.
Good doggy. And starts to gallop forward.
So as you run across the street, there's a set of like a lady and a gentleman, like, ugh, dirty monsters. As you run across them, as you go around the side to where your normal, where your hole has been made in the fence, and you climb your way through back into the garden. As you kind of step in, you realise that last slither of sun is sort of disappearing over the horizon, and this grand school is stood in front of you, and you see the doors close. That's deathly silence as the realization of, oh, sugar.
Uh-oh.
Do we have to sleep outside?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's sleep outside.
Oh,
We can't sleep outside. If we sleep outside and they find us, we're going to be in big, huge, massive trouble.
And it's muddy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mind that too much, but I'm more worried about them finding us.
Let's find an open window.
Yeah. We did it once before. We can do it again.
Okay, so you have a look around at the building, and you do see an open window. Actually, no, you kind of walk around to the sides and look up, and everything's closed, everything's shut up. And then you kind of go round to the back of the building, which is somewhere you probably haven't been before, and there's like a big bush in the way. So can everyone do a dexterity saving throw to kind of get through the bush?
All right.
So, here we go.
So,
Okay, that's 8 for Pups.
10 for Tunk. That's a 10 for Tunk.
I got 50.
Has mine come up?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh.
7
7
and
for
tug,
Gabs.
you kind of like blast your way through, and then this like tug on the ribbon as you look around, and like they're sort of stuck in the like this in the air, and they got stuck in the bush, and there feels as if there's like little things like attacking you slightly, like little claws, bits and pieces over you.
Oh.
Silly Archie.
Pull me up, Tunk.
Tunk pulls hard.
Okay, so let's do a bit of strength.
Okay. The phrase "dragged through a hedge backwards" comes to mind.
An 11. Okay, so you're there. You've really started to pull, and it starts to scratch Oshi's scales.
Scales off. Don't scratch them off.
Archie.
No, I think that's fine. And then you kind of pull her through, and then you just hear this. But help! It's from Pups, who's a little bit further in. Yes, so you stick your hand in. Sorry about that, guys. We just had a little technical problem. I think we were echoing through Roll20 apparently, but I think we're. Are we clear? Is everybody good?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I'm back.
Great. So Yeah, so we have your big hand kind of comes in to Pups. And you grab him probably by the top of his head, actually.
Yeah.
So what? So let's do a strength check on that.
Strength check. Whoa.
Oh.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Hit it with a natural 20. Very, very nice.
Pump's head clean off of his
Yeah.
shoulders.
That's what I was worried about. No, it's just a very, very good grip. She's found the strength. She's proud of herself. She just pulled him. Easy. Very
Yeah.
light.
And you kind of come round to the back of the school. Very much kind of a place where food comes in and different, like more like a service area than a usual children's area. So you have a look around. Can somebody do some sort of check for me to have a look around?
Tunk is kind of brushing off the loose bits of branches and leaves and things from himself and Oshi as this is happening.
So Oshi kind of looks over and she sees an open window on the ground floor. And as she's just about to point at it, you hear like a neighing from a horse, and then a cart start to come around the corner and make its way into the courtyard and about to see you guys.
Duck.
Hide.
Duck, where?
Hide. I mean, hide.
Hide, hide. Quick.
We need to hide a duck.
Come with me. Come with me. And Oshi like goes back really close to the bush, trying to pull Oshi trying to pull Tunk with her.
So you pull everybody. I'm not going to make you do a hide check on this, stealth check on this. So you pull them in, and you see these two massive guys come out. He's like, "What do you mean we're picking up a body?" It's like, "Yeah, we're picking up a body." Of what? Like from a school? It's like, "Yeah, from a school." And then we got to take it over to the Cassalanter, you know. And it's like, "What? Why don't we take it to the city of the dead? That's surely where it needs to go." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, you know." And he's like, "I hope it's not a kid. Oh, I don't like handling kid bodies." And it kind of goes through as they go into the kitchen, and you guys are like, "What the fuck?" And then they come out with a stretcher, and there's a white sheet over a body. It's quite a small body. It's incredibly small body. And there's a hand sort of hanging out as they carry it through. So, "Oh, he's light of a feather, isn't he?" It's like, "Yeah, he's quite light. I mean, it's fairly light for a 9-year-old, yeah." And he kind of carries it across to the cart. And as they kind of lift it up, a small like figurine falls out from the stretcher, and they kind of throw them onto the cart and get in their horses, and they take the body away, leaving this little sculpture on the floor.
Does everyone see that little figurine fall?
I think so. I think everyone sees it.
Well then, without considering that the other people might be around, Tunk comes out from the hiding place and starts to walk towards where the figurine is, recognizing it as his own work.
Yeah,
Oshi's being dragged behind him.
You see it as a small tree, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
And you see Tunk sort of lightly pick it up and put it into his hands. So he looks down at it.
What is it?
I made this. I gave it. This isn't theirs. Those bad ducks we saw. This isn't theirs.
Who did you make it for?
The little boy we're in the class with. It was his birthday. He was sleeping beside Tunk.
And you remember his name is Domo.
Domo.
It was Domo's birthday.
We need to give this back to Domo.
I don't think we can.
Why?
I think Domo's gone, Tunk.
Well, Domo leave without present from Tunk.
I think he was under the sheet, Tunk.
No, Domo's not a ghost. Only Tunk is a ghost.
Maybe he was just like sick or something, or like he fainted, or something like that. You know, it doesn't mean he was like gone.
Those two
Oh,
men
dear.
said it was a dead body.
No, that Domo is inside. Trust Tunk.
I'm not sure, Tunk. It's not like we were imagining in the pub. I think he's gone. Like how Tunk died getting the apple, but he came back. You're back.
So Domo's coming back.
No, I think he's gone, Tunk.
Oh.
And we need to find out why.
And you can see the kind of cogs turning in Tunk's head a little bit as he's trying to grapple with this idea that Domo is gone, and what gone actually means. I think we should go inside, guys.
I think so too, Tunk.
So you
But
see,
we need to be careful.
and that word "careful" kind of sits through, and you kind of remember going through the Sunless Citadel together. I remember like being careful of traps and being careful of doors, and it's like it fills you with the confidence that you could beat that. Proper Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
So you see the window. It's on the ground floor, so it's quite easy to kind of climb up to it. I am going to make you do a check though for this one.
Guys, can we stop talking about Domo being dead, please? It makes Tunk upset.
And as you walk down the corridor up to your dormitory. Thank you, Gaz, for letting us know we had some sound issues there. I think we might have sorted it. So thanks for that. So that's all good. So you kind of go up to the dorm and you see Justin, Ash, Lena, and UD.
Oh yeah.
And they're all in black, and they're stood around Domo's bed, and you can hear them humming "Happy Birthday," holding hands, and they're crying. Well, Justin's not crying, but they are very, very upset, and the whole of the dormitory is like given some space and time for them to kind of do that.
Tunk kind of barrels through and kind of rushes to Domo's bed, which is beside Tunk's, and he kind of like tosses the covers aside as if looking for him underneath the sheets.
He's like, what are you doing?
Where's Domo?
You really don't know.
He dropped the little treat I made him.
You are disgusting. Think it's a joke? Think it's just funny?
No.
And
Tunk just wants to find where Domo is.
Ash comes over to you and speaks in Dwarvish, and he puts his hand on your shoulder. And he says, sometimes we must return to the earth, return to the stone in which we are made. And you understand that.
And so Tunk takes out the tree figurine from his pocket to place it on the pillow of Domo, but as he takes it out, he realizes that when the group barreled through the open window and fell onto the plates, the tree is actually snapped in half, and that seems to be the turning point in Tunk's head, that Domo is actually beyond repair and cannot return to the school again. And so as he rests the two parts of the broken tree on the pillow, he just kind of drops to his knees and begins to sob into the sheets.
And so we have Tunk, the adventurers, and then further out from there you've got you guys. As we kind of like come out of the dormitory. So when we come through to the Sunday, next day, and the first thing that happens is that you guys waking up and you've all been asked to go to the main hall. Well, you'd usually have breakfast, but you've been asked to come dressed in dressed in some black in some way. And you turn up and you see all the school are here, all standing and sitting in rows. And in front is the teachers, the professors. As you see Professor Albus, you see Professor Clang, Professor Legull, Professor Ironhide. You even see Groundkeeper Grack. You see Perry Proudfoot, the librarian. Professor Talon Silvermore, who's standing in the middle, in front of like a big plinth. You see Professor Adam Prize, Professor Mrs. Argett, and also Madame Faylar, all standing. Oh, and one more, of course, Sister Pastine. And they all sit there, and it's a very quiet, somber moment. And Silvermore, almost out of habit, just goes, "Hush! Now, we brought you here, children, to deliver some sad news. One of our very own students, little Dominic, has died. And on his 9th birthday, no less. The poor boy simply went to the kitchen, looking for some more food, and grabbed a pot of boiling, bubbling porridge. He must have slipped, and the entire boiling pot fell on top of him, drowning and burning. You must remember, here at the Cassalanter Institute for Unfortunate Children, we try to give you the best. We try to give you everything we can. And that means not going to certain places. That means adhering to the rules. For if Domo didn't break the rules, he would not be perished. It is a sad day. Our first child to be lost. Now, today there will be no playtime activities. On a Sunday, you will be required to stay in and to think about that. So please, no playtime. Tomorrow is Monday and we will continue as normal with the school activities. So, if anyone would like to say anything about Domo, now it's the chance. And sort of Justin stands up, and he is in full black. He walks over. It's like, I would like to say something. She gets a plinth over and she says, Domo was a hero. Domo was the bright spark in the lonely darkness. Domo would never hurt a fly. Had an amazing sense of humour. Was lovely and nice to everybody, wasn't he? And some people are like, yeah. And a lot of people are like, yeah. That laughter, sweet giggle permeating through our ears is gone. Forevermore I will remember my first hero, Domo. And then he walks away. You see the adventurers kind of come together and they hug each other. And it's like, could anybody else like to say anything? And it kind of goes a bit quiet. Nobody else seems to want to get up and speak. And you guys are looking at each other like, is anyone going to go forward?
Baggy turns to everyone and says, should one of us say something?
No.
Say what?
I don't know, just to show them that we do care. Because we weren't friends.
No.
Okay.
Wants to hear from us. Just give Justin another reason to pick on us.
Mm. And Domo wasn't very nice to us, so.
But my mum used to make us porridge when we could. We didn't get it very often, but she sometimes made us porridge, but she never boiled it. She never made it really, 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 really hot.
And we never get hot porridge here. It's always lukewarm. It's never hot.
No. And did you hear Professor Silvermore said the first child to be lost? The first.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
As
hear
in-
shh. As like she then stand up and realise you were being quite loud. And then Silvermore just stands and goes, "Thank you. So children, take the day of mourning. You are dismissed." And then all the children start moving together, and then you come back together as you're walking. And the Ventures barge through you, and it's like, "You're so disrespectful. How dare you talk during a memorial service for such a great hero? Just despicable." As they kind of move through. And Lena's like in tears, and Ash is sort of holding a ceremonial axe for his friend as they march up to the grounds to go and sit in the garden and think, leaving you guys to walk alone in the corridor.
Tunk, are you okay?
No.
Feel
Not
sad?
really. Yeah. What do you mean the porridge wasn't hot?
When you make porridge, you make it warm. You make it a little bit hot, but you don't boil it, because if you boil it, it like, I remember, if you make it too hot, it gets really like solid, and you can't take the spoon out.
You
So you don't think porridge was hot? That happened to Domo?
I don't think so. I don't think it works. That doesn't work.
But the teacher said that it was hot. The teacher wouldn't lie.
You can lie.
What?
Mm.
anyone can lie, Tunk.
Especially adults.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Teacher's not very nice here. Did you see what Professor Sibler did? He put magic on me so I couldn't move.
Mm.
Yeah.
And they make us sit at the back because we're monsters.
Yeah.
And they made you come sit at the back, didn't they, Tunk, when you first came in?
Yeah, Tunk wanted to sit on the floor.
Mm.
Who said you can't sit on the floor anyway?
The teacher. Tunk used to always sit on the floor at home. So what do we do?
Well, we need to find out what actually happened.
We need to go and find some clues.
Yeah. Yeah.
They said he died in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could go back to the kitchen, see if there's any other clues.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could like check in all the cupboards, and then maybe we'll find like another kid in like a cage who can help us, and can give us all the information that we need, and then we can solve the case.
And we can go into the kitchen in barrels.
Yes.
Maybe we can see if the porridge is hot.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Tunk is hungry.
Yeah.
That would probably make you feel better too, Tunk.
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you guys realise that you haven't had any breakfast yet. You haven't been served breakfast yet.
Yeah.
So as you kind of walk around, you see a professor there. You see a big dwarf. It's Professor Ironside with a big ginger beard that's like tied, like plaited together, huge muscles, and these big kind of tattoos kind of across his arms in woad, like that bluish woad colour. And he's like, "Children, breakfast will be served in a bowl from the kitchen today."
Why a bowl, Mr. Fentrick?
He looks over at you and he says, "Well, would you like a sieve?"
No, thank you, Mr. Fentrick. You're funny.
He looks down to you and he says, "Mr. Tunk,
Yes?
do your clan proud and keep that stupid mouth shut."
Oh, okay.
Off you pop. And he walks off.
Oh, she slipped her hand into Tunk's hand at this point and gives him a quick squeeze.
Tongue returns the squeeze, but it's almost like a bone-crushing squeeze. He means it affectionately, but he just doesn't know his own strength.
So she's like, ow, and just puts her hand under her arm, like, oh my gosh. Note to self: don't ever do that again.
You kind of come around the corner and you see this long queue, which leads around to the kitchen, and it takes you a good 30 minutes to get a bit of porridge. And everybody's waiting in line. It's that kind of like stomp, all the way through until you get through to the kitchen. Who's at the front? Who's at the first in the queue?
I'll go first.
So is that Pups or Baggy?
Yeah. Oh, do you want to go first, Baggy?
Oh no, I was just going to say maybe it would be Tunk because he's so hungry.
But Pups called it, so let's have Pups go forward. So you go over to the side and you see that they've got the last couple of spoonfuls on this metal plate that they're serving the porridge from, and behind them you can see a fresh set getting ready to be brought out.
Is it okay if I have my porridge really hot, please? Because I really like my porridge really hot. Can you put a bit in and make it really hot?
Why do you want hot porridge?
Because I'm a bit cold. It was really cold last night, and my hands are a bit cold. So it'd be really nice to have really. Can you make it really hot?
We've got a fresh batch coming in now. We'll have a look. And
Okay.
this kind of big tray comes over and sits down. He just takes the old stuff, scoops it in, mixes it up, and you can see it's got a bit of steam on it. And he goes over and gets a bowl. There you go. Come on, who's next?
But can you make it a little hotter, like when you cook it hot?
Is this as hot as it'll go? Come on, who's next? It's he
Thank you.
comes through to the next person.
Which is Tunk, salivating behind Pups.
All right,
Tunk,
Spoony.
Spoony.
And he hands
Tunk?
you a wooden spoon and says, "Be careful. It's only one
Oh.
Tunk. There's only one Tunk." He stuffs it in the bowl.
There is only one Tunk. What's your name?
My name is Next, please.
Okay, Mr. Next, please. Thank you very much.
The next one comes over and I say, "Is Baggy?"
Yeah, it's Baggy. She
Right.
says, I'd like my porridge really hot too, please.
So what is as hot as it'll go?
Okay. That's okay.
He picks it
I'll
up.
take it as it is.
Kids hands it over. Next, please. They're starting to get really... You can notice that kind of annoyance that maybe their porridge isn't good enough for everybody.
And Oshi is not impressed. She's sick of this. She has a good life. This is really fallen from grace. She takes it and it's just like says to herself, quite quietly, "This looks horrible."
Let me just do a quick roll. They hear it.
Which one should I do?
Oh no!
Oh, I think he heard you.
Nat 20.
A natural 20.
Really? He just gives you an empty bowl. Next, please.
And she just drops it on the floor and walks off.
Oh.
So then you see Professor Legull, who's this dragonborn. He's got wonderful blue hair, glasses, wearing this kind of black and blue long coat with gems upon it. Let me go over to the other screen so you guys can see it. And he looks across at you. It's like, Oshisota! Come here, now! I said, here, now.
Oshi takes a deep breath and turns her head to the ground and walks over. And she looks up at him with these really big eyes that are almost starting to well with tears, and says, "Yes, Professor," in Draconic.
Dropping. You know how hard they work for that?
And she
How
says,
disrespectful on a day of mourning, child.
Well, that's the thing I'm sad about, Dom.
No more words from you. Thank you. I want 1,000 words on why respecting others is important on my desk tomorrow morning.
Yes, Professor.
And those eyes do not work on me, child.
And she tries
Now.
to flash him a smile and quickly scurries off back to the group.
Go and
She's
apologise. Go and apologise to the kitchen.
Yes, Professor.
Good.
And she walks back over and she says, I'm very sorry. And she picks the bowl up and puts it back on the table.
That's all right, my love. It's a difficult day. But you're not getting any of my porridge. It's not good enough for you.
Okay.
And you go and join the other table.
Got it. Trouble.
Yeah, well, can I have some of your porridge, please?
Tunk's already finished his porridge.
I've only got a little bit left.
Pups.
But
I mean,
Tunk hasn't licked the bowl yet.
I mean, you can have the rest of my porridge, but the next time we go on an adventure, I don't owe you any more gold coins.
Okay, fine. That's wiped.
Cool. And she gives over
you
the
can
rest.
have some. You can have some of mine, but because I haven't even started eating it yet, and Pups has just got his hand in the porridge to prove to everyone that you can't burn yourself with this porridge. See?
Yep.
See?
It's
not too hot.
It's not too hot.
You want the
It's,
rest? I'll have this bit.
And Oshi just shakes her head.
Okay, Pups just like devours it in one go, just like doesn't use food.
Okay, so we found out that the porridge, when it's fresh, when it's freshly made, it isn't hot enough to hurt someone.
And it's horrible.
No, not kill someone.
Not kill someone. So that means Domo didn't die because of agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah.
So we need to find out how he actually died.
Okay. Maybe we ask teachers.
Mm-mm.
Maybe we ask Justin.
Mm-mm.
No, Justin will hit us.
If Justin hits you, Baggy, Tunk will hit Justin.
What if we ask Grack?
Ooh.
You're his favourite. Your teacher's pet, so you might as well go and speak to him.
We could ask Grack. He knows a lot. He sees a lot. Yeah, let's go and do that. He'll probably be in the garden, right?
Yeah.
Are we allowed in the garden?
Well, we're not playing, so...
yeah.
You're allowed
Yeah.
in the garden for like contemplative walks and
Yeah, we'll just
Poetry
look really
recitals.
sad and solemn. We'll just look
Yeah.
really sad and solemn, and like we're like having really big thoughts.
Mm.
Okay.
Can you do that, Tom?
Yeah, Tunk can have big thoughts.
Yeah.
Elephant.
what is Tunk thinking about? What's his big thought?
Elephants.
So you make your way out into the garden. It's not very busy. It's very quiet. You can hear kind of the sounds of the streets of the city around you, but nothing too loud. Round by the flower bed, you do see groundskeeper Grack. And as he turns around, you see he's got like a big black eye, and he's got like bloody knuckles.
Baggy goes up to him and goes, Quack, you look like how you did when Belek hurt you.
He looks at you and he goes like, sorry, what, Baggy?
Oh, nothing. I just noticed that you had a big black eye.
Well,
You okay?
Grack went to a tavern yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Someone told stories. They were told they were a liar. I said they were not.
Oh,
And he's actually like, you see from one eye is like really closed.
oh,
He agreed he was a liar.
oh, what do you think? Was he lying?
No,
Because you were there, weren't you? You used to tend to the plants downstairs where there wasn't any light and there was
You know-
sunflowers.
you know how kids look at the kid in Sixth Sense. That moment happens with Grack, and he's like,
Yeah, and you. Used
and he
to
looks at
tend
you, and he
flowers.
like takes out a bag of bones out his pocket, and he throws them to the ground. He sits and he looks at them, and he's like, and he picks them back up again, puts them in his pocket. He's like, "You are not a demon, are you?
Oh,
I thought you were a proud orc." And then he picks the bones out and he throws them to the ground again. And he looks at them and he's like, "It says you are not, but you know things." And he picks them back up and puts them into his pocket. And he's like, "I must pray to Gumesh." And he turns around and starts to walk away.
And I think Baggy just says in Orcish, I've just heard some stories, and then she proudly beats her chest once and starts singing the song about the death and blood, things and kind of
Intense.
prove that she's definitely not a demon and that it's okay.
He turns around. He's like, "You are a good orc. Proud orc." Yes.
Yes, I am groundskeeper Greg. Greg, I know you wanted to go, but we were wondering if you knew anything about Domo's death.
I returned from the tavern, and they told me he had died.
Oh no. And how did they tell you that he died?
Poor boy burned himself.
That's what we were told too. But
I was there in the assembly when they said Baggi.
Yeah, we heard that's what they said.
However, I was quite drunk at the time.
I see. Too many pints in the tavern. Who told you, Brack, that Domo had died? Or did you just hear about it in the assembly?
Professor Silvermore told me. She told all of the teachers.
Well, you've been here a long time, haven't you, Brack?
Well, the school is but 3 months old.
Oh. So this is the only time any of us have ever been hurt before. Are you worried it might happen again?
It will happen. It is happening now. Every minute another person dies. The end of their life cycle happens, and they return to the deities and to the land that they believe. It is the normal, balanced circle of life. And he breaks into song. No, he doesn't break into song. And you can see that he's like, this is a completely normal occurrence. This may be the first time that you have seen death. But I promise you, it will not be the last.
Okay. And I think Baggi, knowing that she's not going to get the information, I don't think that she necessarily wants out of groundskeeper Grat. She just kind of bows her head to say thank you and heads back to the others to tell them what she's heard from him, which is not too much actually. So she goes over to them and she goes, guys, I don't think groundskeeper Grat knows anything about Domo's death. He knows the same as us.
Okay.
So what should we do now? Should we see if there's anything we can find, any clues?
Maybe we should.
Okay.
Maybe we should try and find out where those men went.
Oh, yes, because they came on horseback, didn't they? So maybe we could follow their tracks.
Yeah, let's do it.
And the camera kind of pans up and goes through a window. And you see Professor Silvermore standing, her arms crossed, looking out of the window. And Professor... Yeah, let's do... Professor Clan stands next to her. She says, do you think they suspect anything? Clang is like, they are stupid children. Of course they do not expect anything. Good. If we disappoint the Cassalanters anymore, the school may close. And goes, yes, of course. I will work harder to continue my research. She's like, good. And we're going to take a little break there. Okay. Cool. So we're going to take a little break. Let's say we did have some technical issues there, because it wouldn't be Waterdeep Mallrats if we didn't have any technical issues. That's the way it is.
Live.
It's our brand, guys.
It is our brand.
Let's try not to get associated too much with that.
So my deepest apologies. So thank you, Gary, for letting me know. So we're going to take a little break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes' time, and we will continue on to the next part of the adventure. So I will see you guys in a mo.